No.
Quality assurance, gentlemen. There you go.
Okay.
All right. Drake, if you would mute yourself until it's, wait, you're performing first.
I'm performing first.
You are performing first, but I'm going to ask you to mute yourself so you don't accidentally make a sound and then take it off of me while I'm introducing you. So, thank you. All right. We're doing the SCA harassment and bullying policy. Very important. All right. Welcome, everyone, to the first official virtual Pennsic Interkingdom Bardic Showcase. This is an amazing opportunity, once in a lifetime, hopefully, for us to do this. Normally, this happens every year at Pennsic. It's a long-held tradition, if you don't know. It's a wonderful opportunity for various kingdoms to come together and celebrate the performing arts. And so the goal of this is for each kingdom to highlight a bardic performer. And it's always a highlight of Pennsic, and we're so looking forward to all of our participants this year. Because of the unique venue, we actually have more kingdoms participating this year, which is wonderful. And so we're so excited that we're able to provide this to the known world. And so I hope you enjoy this. Our first, oh, I should introduce myself. I'm from Midrealm. I am Honor von Atzinger. I'm the Dragon Bard from Midrealm. So I will be your MC for the first half of this show. I'm co-hosting this with our East Kingdom Bardic friends. And they're also our first performers. So Lord Drake Orenwood is our first performer. And he just has a brief intro, but I lost it, so give me just a second while I find it. Here we go. Lord Drake Orenwood delights in making music for his kingdom and the society. His instrument of choice is the lute, but his mission as a bard is to share tales that speak truth and feed hope. He is serving as Queen's and now Consort's Bard of the East. So, Lord Drake, if you would please unmute yourself and take it away.
Thank you, Honor. Thank you so much. I'm delighted with this opportunity. I've attended this this showcase before. This is my first time performing at it. The piece I'm going to be sharing with you tonight is very new. I finished composing it a little less than a week ago. Most of you doubtless have heard of our just now stepped down Queen of the East, Margarita de Siena, who has just completed an unprecedented 11-month solo reign. And the plaudits and thanks have been pouring in from around the kingdom and around the known world. I got to meet Margarita a few weeks into her, after she became crown princess. And one of the things that excited me was that she is twice Sylvan Bard of Ethelmark. To have been chosen as the Bardic champion of such a queen is a privilege I hadn't hoped for. It means to me to be a Bard's Bard. And with her stepping down, I found myself full of feelings and thoughts about the experience of her reign as I saw it and as many of us in the East did. And so I share that with you now. So far from home, from her girlhood as a wandering singer, but her companion has promised her a grand surprise. Yes, sure enough, that's a royal coronet he brings her. Did I just see panic in her eyes. But that fades and it becomes a merry twinkle as she sees a kingdom hard work and play, and her voice is sounding every day more regal, sharing praise and kindness as she may. She's out there singing as her garden grows, and she tends the earth and plants the seeds, so gentle yet firm. Where does she draw the strength from? No one knows, but she's up before the sun is, in her garden as it grows with her. Now she's alone, and behind her is our fallen tower, one night of storm, and her heart is like our shattered land. There's no man born who can heal us in this awful hour. What's our realm with no one in command? Then she stands and promises to do her duty, walking with us step for step and mile for mile, shows us all a kingdom that's awash in beauty, lifting up our spirits with her smile. She's out there singing as her garden grows, and she tends the earth and plants the seeds. She knows what to do. Where does she draw the strength from? No one knows, but she's up before the sun is, in her garden as it grows anew. She's never phased. Nothing has the power to alarm her. Her voice, when raised or a whisper, still commands the hall. We watch amazed as she mounts a horse and fights in armor, ever joyous she inspires us all. But what's this? A pestilence has swept upon us. In our homes we huddle, mourning those struck down. Yet her voice still marshals us, devoted, honest, heedless of the burdens of the crown. She's out there singing as her garden grows. She tends the earth and plants the seeds in sunshine or rain. Where does she draw the strength from? No one knows, but she's up before the sun is, in her garden as it grows again. The day has come. She's returning to the land she hails from. Her reign is done, one the like of which we've never seen. So well and long did she steer this ship through every maelstrom. In my heart she'll always be my queen, never flinching as she faced each trial fateful. Can our kingdom bear to let this treasure go? From this distance will she see we're ever grateful. Through my tears I'm smiling, for I know she's out there singing as her garden grows. She tends the earth and plants the seeds as she's done before. Where does she draw the strength from? No one knows, but she's up before the sun is, in her garden as it grows once more. Up before the sun is, in her garden as it grows once more. Up before the sun is, in her garden as it grows once more. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that performance, and that was beautiful tribute to your queen.
Thank you, Honor.
Absolutely. And you've done so much. And I know it's hard speaking as one champion to another to be champion during a world pandemic, but you're doing a great job.
As I said earlier, this does not look like it did on the brochure.
Things never do, though. Well, that was a beautiful performance from the East Kingdom. And our next performer is coming to us from Ethelmark. So, Lord Ayadine Ruad, if you would please unmute yourself and take it away.
Thank you very much, and also thank you for putting this together virtually for the first time. I speak for those lost or forgotten until all the songs are sung. In this particular case, this song is an original composition, and unfortunately, thanks to another unfortunate song about kilted Scotsmen and one passable bad movie about the first Scottish War for Independence, everyone has a very particular idea what's going to come when they hear that a Scottish song is going to be sung. So this is in reference to all of the things that people miss when we have those pieces come up, and to pay tribute to a very dear lady in my life. It's called Drink for a Scotsland. History says we're drunkards, loud ones and warriors, and sometimes our men are that way too. But with each battle won and song that is sung, stands a lady strong, gorgeous, and true. For her howling heights and black soil valleys, for mist and rain that washes you clean. I'll challenge any taker who ignores her beauty and denies all I have seen. For Scotland I drink tonight. Breathe with me the airs, we stand above the world, such ardent green valleys surrounding. With your breast clean and full, your mind clears and sees sunset's amber haze abounding. Shoulders rise from the earth as boulders and bluffs, highlands cloaked in juniper and heather. So by leaf, moor, and rock we're made of sturdy, valiant stock, in all our hills and ancestors have weathered. For her breathtaking ridges and windswept sedges, for endless skies that beckon our gaze, I'll challenge any taker who ignores her beauty and denies her boldest of ways. For Scotland I drink tonight. Let me run with the red deer to the drumming in my heart. Let the boar test my insight and courage. Amid the damp smell of cedar, woodland lullabies, and fog of quiet ancient promise, may your path find the banks of our clear water locks, stretched for miles between guardian mountains. In their reflection you'll find a mirror of time. What you are will be and have always been. For towering pines and their haunting wonder, for trails that teach with sacred step, I'll challenge any taker who ignores her beauty and denies the chills that I've met. For Scotland I drink tonight. On her shores you will still feel the sea's lonely pull in salt spray and roaring surf. But the daunting cliffs or rainbow Macaire have the call all rovers must answer. There's a chasm in my heart to never be filled, but by autumn rains and crimsons I have known. And should the last thistle die, ever with her I'll lie, for I have failed to protect our home. For Scotsmen, it's pride in the land we live on, where lion rampant flies free above. We'll give all that's needed to preserve her beauty. with stories, good works, lives, and love. For Scotland we drink tonight.
Well sung and well played. Thank you so much for that piece. That was
Thank you very much for inviting.
Oh, absolutely. And thank your majesties for suggesting you.
I will.
That was a wonderful piece, and I really appreciate that you were able to join us. Our next performer hails from the Great Dark Horde. So, Irek Gliokas Macbean, if you would please unmute yourself.
I shall.
And take it away.
Thank you. It's actually Irek Gliokas Macbean, but I know pronunciations are tricky when you write them down and you start off with a Scotsman who travels all over the place. This song I collected while I was out and about in some more eastern and southern climes. It's actually in Italian, and it's by a fellow named Luigi Rossi, Red Louie, and it comes from his opera Orfeo and Euridice. It's called Mio ben de coil e tormento più. Mio ben de col tormento più dolce troverei che con altri con te che con altri contento ogni dolcezza e sol dove tu sei, dove tu sei. Ogni dolcezza e sol dove tu sei. E per me amor raduna, amor raduna, nel girar de tuo sguardo ogni fortuna, nel girar del tuo sguardo ogni fortuna. Thank you.
And thank you so much for participating. We're so glad that your group was able to send a representative and that you're able to join us for the Interkingdom Bardic Showcase.
Thank you much.
Absolutely.
You honor my Khan and my brothers.
Our next performer is Countess Leah Citoler. So Leah, Countess Leah, if you would please unmute yourself and take it away.
Hello, everyone. I am from the Kingdom of Aidenveld, and I am so pleased to be here today, being able to do what I believe is the most important thing as a performing artist in our society, which is giving you a little window into the heart and soul of not only myself, but hopefully others in our game. This song is an original composition. I wrote it in 2017. It's called Dreaming, and it's an autobiographical piece about my own journey through joy and struggle and back to hope in the SEA. While her mind wanders to fire its memories and musings of beauty, to birth fresh and new the laughter of friends and the music of centuries sing in her heart, so tender and true. While the sun shines on her hope in its splendor, it sparkles and dances, reflecting the dream. Legends and warriors still guard and protect her atop of her pedestals, steadfast they beam. My lady sings, why can't I stop dreaming? I soar with a joy in my heart and a song. With love for my kingdom, I found faith and meaning. My family's found, I finally belong. While she hums airs and delights, time passes, her song so familiar to warriors and kings. The sparkle and dancing now barely pulls glances, the kind words of friendly whispers in the wind. Sweet lady sings, when did you stop dreaming? I'll share all the joy in my heart with a song, with love for our kingdom. Let's build faith and meaning. Our family is strong, we'll always belong. While her song flickers, her steps slow and weaken, crowns rise and fade, like seasons they change. Legends and warriors can fall, so she reasons, as songs and dancing are now met with shame. The Countess cries, when did I stop dreaming? I weep for the joy that I lost in my song. I still love my kingdom, but struggle for meaning. My family is shattered, I just don't belong. While the sun carries her hope past the mountains, it cradles her dream for the promise of dawn. Legends can spark in the sky as it brightens. Her eyes search the heavens to find her next song. The mistress cries, how do we start dreaming? I long for the joy that my heart found in song. With love for my kingdom, I'll hold faith that meaning. find me, and I once again will belong. While her mind wanders to firelit memories and musings of beauty, to birth fresh and new, the laughter of friends and the music of centuries sing in her heart, so tender and true. Thank you.
That was gorgeous. Thank you so much for sharing. That was an original piece as well. And I was remiss in announcing that Countess Leah is from the Kingdom of Attenveld. So, I'm sorry, Atenveld. So thank you so much for coming and participating and giving us such a lovely performance.
And thank you for coordinating and having us.
Absolutely. Our next performer is actually a video because life happens, as we all know. Lady Rowan, she is from the Kingdom of Meridies, and Mistress Zoph will be playing the video. So Mistress Zoph, if you would please share your screen.
Hello, my name is Lady Rowan Romero from the Kingdom of Meridies, and I will be singing The Trial of Lancelot by Heather Dale. King Arthur's knights, they fill the table round, save for one who stood before him. For once without a weapon, for once he stood in shame. The trial's charge was treason and betrayal of an oath, and should his guilt be proven, death would fall on traitors bold. The knights would counsel Arthur's hard decision, and Lancelot, his head held high, said, I'm tried for love of Guinevere. My crime was love. The first to speak was Kay with sharpest tongue. He is a man like any other. The word of kings command him, his heart does not obey. For all his strength and boldness, this knight's spirit is too weak. His crimes have no excuses, and no favors may he seek. The laws of kings don't bend and can't be broken. And Lancelot, his head held high, said, I stand in love with Guinevere, for pride and love. I know this knight right well, spoke bold Gawain, and he has ever stood beside me. With steel he's answered insult, defended chivalry, and oft this man contended for the honor of your wife. His actions were not proper, but should not cost him his life. His service past should earn of you some mercy. And Lancelot, his head held high, said, I fought for love of Guinevere. I'd fight for love. Sir Tristan spoke, I love my uncle's wife. For her I'd gladly suffer. She is my heart's delight. Isolde, the one who tempts me, and she for whom I'm pure. My love for her confounds me, and is all of which I'm sure. I understand my brother's contradictions. And Lancelot, his head held high, said, I cry my love for Guinevere. I've cried for love. Spoke Galahad, the purest of them all. Have no fear of predilection, for though he is my father, he is my source of shame. He joined in sinful union with my unbeguiling mother, and for all his claim at virtue, he has gone and bed another. The laws of God declare this act damnation. And Lancelot, his head held high, said, I lie in love with Guinevere. I lied for love. As Arthur wept, he called the wrath of heaven on the lovers who'd betrayed him. On the night he had called brother, thought worthy of his trust, of the queen who hid deception, yet could say she loved him still, for lost innocence and beauty, and injustice for their guilt. King Arthur knew the only price for treason. And Lancelot, his head held high, said, I'll die in love with Guinevere. I'll die for love.
I know Lady Rowan is not on this call, but that was beautiful, and I'm so glad that she was able to participate with us, even remotely, as it were. So thank you, Mr. Stowe, for playing that video. And now, that's it for the Midrealm. I'm so happy that you let me host this first half of the show, and I just want to thank everyone again. Lord Drake Orenwood is taking over from the East Kingdom, so Lord Drake, if you would, go ahead and take us home.
Hello again. I've been so enjoying, and Honor, thank you for the beautiful and gracious job you've done hosting and organizing and keeping this all together. Save the rest for the end. I don't think we have an introduction for the Wrong and Honorable Master Darian Cordell, do we? Which means, oh dear, I'm going to have to let him introduce himself, am I not? So Darian, and I say this with trepidation, unmute, please, and speak.
Hello, everyone. So there was an introduction, which was really, really sweet, that had been written by and submitted by our crown and one of their little helpers. And I think it's only fair to share their work. Let me see. Pulling this up on the fly. No, that seems to be gone.
The excitement of live.
Here it is. I have found it. They wrote, we have chosen the Wrong and Honorable Master Darian Cordell to represent Northshield. I am sure he will do an excellent job. Here is the introduction you requested that we provide. In a world where nothing goes right, call the Wrong and Honorable Darian Cordell, Baron of Bad Jokes, Pelican of Puns, and Jester of Joviality. From Drachenwald to Detroit, from Lockock to London, his voice spreads the good word of good Bardic across the known world. You can run, but you can't hide. Northshield sends their regards. Karen and Ellis. And with an introduction like that, I can only assume they know precisely what they were asking for. This is the Pomposity Song. It is a song about the types of people who are arrogant about being peers. It is not about all peers or about any particular peers. If you believe that you recognize anyone else or yourself from this song, that is not my fault. A laurel strode into our shop, held their opinions high, detailed the flaws in all our wares, including how and where and when and why. I'm a laurel. And our heads popped off. We couldn't believe the crap that we just heard. Don't take yourself so seriously. By God, you're just absurd. Our battle plan seemed good to us. Fun and victory for our clan. Until that night, he called it dumb. Suicide to a man. I'm a knight. And our heads popped off. We couldn't believe the crap that we just heard. Don't take yourself so seriously. By God, you're just absurd. Now, what do you think you're doing there? You're just splashing like a fish. Now move aside and let me, dear. I'll show you how to dry a dish. Oh, well, you know I am a pelican, dearie. And our heads popped off. We couldn't believe the crap that we just heard. Don't take yourself so seriously. By God, you're just a bird. Now, I wanted to write a damn fine verse for a master of defense, but his demand for gigante style just made no gosh darn sense. Clearly, you are writing for a sport fencer. I am a master of the defense, huh? And our heads popped off. We couldn't believe the crap that we just heard. Don't take yourself so seriously. By God, you're just absurd. Don't you see this coronet? I don't care that you're the queen. I ruled this joint full 30 times by AS-17. I was totally royal, dude. And our heads popped off. We couldn't believe the crap that we just heard. Don't take yourself so seriously. By God, you're just absurd. Now, I'm the one who am singing here. Share wisdom at your call. I have only hope you'll do what's right. I know best. And that is all, 'cause I'm a bard. And our heads popped off. We couldn't believe the crap that we just heard. Don't take yourself so seriously. By God, you're just absurd. Don't be such a pompous, silly old ass. By God, you're just absurd. These guys are cracking me up.
Ever singular, Darian. And it's wonderful to see you again, old friend. Thank you for journeying all this way from North Shield to participate in this with us. Oh, and if you can only see what I see. All right, continuing on, our next performer from Fair Lochic is Roona Hundard daughter. Did I get that right? Close enough? All right. One moment before you unmute, I'm going to read the introduction. Yes, I am. I really am. Wait. Fair greetings to you, great skalds of the many kingdoms, from the fairest of them all, mighty Lochic. We, oh dear, Theodoric the Jotun and most beautiful and fierce Englyn, write to you to tell of the greatest of all singers to have walked the known world. Streams of silver have flowed from our hands to tell of our heroic and mighty deeds, but no such reward is needed to tell of the glory of our most exalted Roona Hundard, in a land awash with the greatest of bardic talent, which puts to shame the efforts of all other kingdoms combined. You would think it impossible for one lone voice to make itself heard, and yet, at the first note spoken with such quiet beauty, we have seen with our own eyes halls filled to overflowing fall silent. We have witnessed the grimmest of warriors shed tears of pure joy at the sound of a single phrase let loose from Roona's blessed tongue. There surely can be no equal to such a voice in all the worlds. You, our dear skalds, must count yourselves now amongst the luckiest of souls that we were able to convince our stunning Roona to share her bounteous songcraft with you here. Without further ado, Roona.
Greetings. My name is Roona Hundard here. I'm really excited and honoured to be representing Lockhack today. I'm really sorry I can't make it in person. I wish I could see all of your wonderful performances. And I'm really grateful that I can submit a video instead. The song I'll be doing for you today is called The Captain's Lament. I wrote it. I hope you enjoy. There was a man defeated, barely breathing. Blood was seeping into the war-torn soil. I went to move him, take him homeward, treat his wounds and make him whole. He pushed my hands away. Then I heard him say, "Bury me on the battlefield. My body is broken and bloody. My feet are weary and sore. Place my bones within the earth to lay with those who came before. Bury me among my brothers, whom I stole from their mothers. March them deep into the fray, to watch them die day after day. So bury me on the battlefield. My body is broken and bloodied. My feet are weary and sore. Place my bones within the earth to lay with those who came before. Lay me down where I fell, for I am damned straight to hell. No man can see what I have seen and still lay claim to a dream. So bury me on the battlefield. My body is broken and bloodied. My feet are weary and sore. Place my bones within the earth to lay with those who came before. I beg for no mercy. I submit to my sins. My blade was thirsty, and my heart beat to win. So bury me on the battlefield. My body is broken and bloody. My feet are weary and sore. Place my bones within the earth to lay with those who came before. I found a man defeated, barely breathing. Blood was seeping into the war-torn soil. I tried to move him, take him homeward, treat his wounds and make him whole. He pushed my hands away. Then I heard him say, "In the grounds where I belong, leave me here and return home. My final wish is this, my friend, that this God's damned war will end. So bury me on the battlefield. My body is broken and bloodied. My feet are weary and sore. Place my bones within the earth to lay with those who came before." Thank you.
That was sensational and not in the least oversold. Thank you so much, Roona, for taking the time and preparing that specially for this showcase. We greatly appreciate it. Our next performer is Mistress Magdalen from Aidenveld?
Yes.
Yes. Mistress Magdalen is an accomplished bard, both in song and in the spoken word. She crafts complicated tales to engage her audience and commands attention whenever she uses her voice for her art. She is our kingdom's newest Minister of Arts and Sciences and is tremendously excited to breathe new excitement and life into our arts community as a whole. Welcome and take it away.
Well, in the desert here in Aidenveld, we dream of the islands. And we love history. So history in islands brings us to the island of England, where there are many kings who are fascinating. And I have been fascinated for many years with the Tudors and Henry VIII, because he had 6 wives. And so many people find it very difficult to remember which wife died when, which wife had children when, which wife was which. And so this little filk for you can also double as a limbo dance if you get a couple of squires and a polearm and make sure everyone is heading away from the campfire when they fall on their backsides. But this is the Anne Boleyn limbo. Henry VIII, he had 6 wives, 2 divorced and 1 she died. 2 beheaded, 1 survived, such the way of Henry's life. It's a story that is old, but one that must be told. Henry's life was full of sin. Well, enough said, now let's begin. Anne Boleyn, 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 Anne Boleyn, Boleyn, Boleyn. Catherine of Aragon, well, she was the first one. Thought she'd be the queen for life, thought she'd always be his wife. But alas, the way the world, Catholic and bore a girl, Mary Tudor born in Kent, to the Tower Catherine sent. Anne Boleyn, 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 Anne Boleyn, Boleyn, Boleyn. Anne Boleyn then came along. Without her, we'd have no song. Told Henry she'd have a son. Said he'd be the only one. But Elizabeth's a girl with Henry's red hair curl. He no longer shared her bed, and alas, she lost her head. And Boleyn, 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 and Boleyn, Boleyn, Boleyn. Jane Seymour, she was the next, and with Henry was most vexed. But huzzah, she had a boy, Edward, Henry's pride and joy. Such a sickly child to view, but his mum was sickly too. All of London heard our cry when poor Jane is up and died. And Boleyn, 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 and Boleyn, Boleyn, Boleyn. Hands hold bind, paint, and of cleaves, pictures pretty as you please. But in truth she was to see, and was very ugly. Divorced her without a care, 'cause she was the Flanders mare. Anne of Cleves was number 4, but there be at least 2 more. And Boleyn, 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 and Boleyn, Boleyn, Boleyn. Catherine Howard, number 5, was lucky to be alive. She was caught to bed to cheat. Henry's wrath, it was complete. Such a sorry sight to see, Catherine's infidelity. He no longer shared her bed, and another lost her head. And Boleyn, 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 and Boleyn, Boleyn, Boleyn. Catherine Parr, she was the last. Henry's reign was soon to pass. She was his last beloved wife. She outlived his wicked life. Mary 2 to 5 years to reign. Edward 6 was short and plain. The last Tudor to be seen was good Bess, the Virgin Queen. And Boleyn, 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 and Boleyn, Boleyn, Boleyn. All enough said. Now that's the end.
That was sensational. That was sensational.
Thank you.
I delight in a good witty filk, and that was a good witty filk. Thank you so much, Mistress Magdalen, for sharing that with us and for coming all this way. Our next performer hails from the Midrealm, and I am excited to get to share space for the first time. I see this gentle performance, and I was looking forward to getting to see him. Please welcome Harun ibn Ullah. And the introduction I have: Harun ibn Ullah is well loved, appreciated, and respected by the crown of the Middle Kingdom. We would encourage all to look to him as an example in the SCA. Sometimes it's quality, not quantity of words. Welcome. Don't forget to unmute.
Thank you for that reminder. I may have completely forgotten to unmute. Good evening, everyone. I'm quite honored, actually, to be here to represent the Midrealm and what I have to share with you tonight. So this is a song of my own creation, and Darian's holding his ear. Can I be heard? Am I heard? Okay, great. So this is a song of my own creation. My wife, Ayadine of Amber Hall, and I make our way in the tail end of the 14th century. So we are vaguely familiar from a historical perspective of the trying times that we live in now. So this song is written in that vein. The music itself is a little bit later than our time period, and the clever ear might find a little bit of modern contrivances, but I suppose that's appropriate as well, since we live in a time where time itself seems to have no more meaning anymore. So with that, thank you very much for having me, and I hope you enjoy. Cast off your panoply. We fight this great evil by not leaving the hall. We fight this great evil by not leaving the hall. But none are alive now who know how to fight this way. And so our chambers each echo a disparate din. And the birds in our windows, they chitter unceasingly. Our oaths become precious when the war is within. And how long can we last? This plague tears us apart and darkens the memory of that which we are. When the flags fly again, will I remember your face? Will I still know the reason we stood in this place? So hold on to me, hold on to me, hold on. Darkens the memory of that which we are. When the flags fly again, will I remember your face? face. Well, I still know the reason we stood in this place. Hold on to me, hold on to me, hold on. Thank you.
Glorious. Glorious. Thank you. Thank you so much, Harun. That was some wonderful skill. Our next performer is here. Maestra Katarina Isabella Sparbaro. However, her royalty deigned to send an introduction video directly. So if Mr. Zof, you would bring that up.
Greetings to the known world. It is nice to communicate with fellow medievalists, regardless of how that happens. Today, Her Majesty Queen Maisie and I have the pleasure of introducing to you Maestra Katarina Isabella Sparbaro da Farenz. We've been very pleased with her work to promote the arts during the pandemic. She has been in charge of our Monday, Wednesday, and Friday online Bardic sing-alongs activities since March, and we have not missed a single day. She's a true patron of the arts. A little background on her. Once she accompanied our ancestor, King Baitor, on his nightly perambulations at the 25th Great Pennsic War, performing in multiple encampments around the known world. And after a brief sojourn in the Kingdom of Antir, we are delighted Katarina is back in sunny Trimaris. And honored, we're very honored for you to see her perform tonight. Thus say we, King Kern and Queen Maisie of Trimaris. Enjoy.
Thank you, Your Majesty. Katarina, if you would unmute and take it away.
Thank you. As you can see, with such a gracious crown, I wanted to please His Majesty by performing a song of his choice. And Her Majesty also had a song of her choice, which was different. And so in communication with Honor earlier today, I said, I don't know what to choose. These are the two choices. And she said, do them both. It's less than 8 minutes. So you're going to get to hear two songs tonight. One is entitled The Fairy Court, and it was written by my Laurel, Verena Valeska Kazimir. And I'm going to start off with that. And the second one is a song of my own writing. It's entitled The Plague Lament, which, as you may guess from that title, was inspired by our current times. So, with no further ado. My mother was a lass both wild and free, and she told me of a life else she had me. A love was no common sort, but my father was a lord of the fairy court. La-da-lady-o-do-dum-dow, la-da-lady-o-do-dum-day-o, la-da-lady-o-do-dum-die, la-da-lady-dirly-day. She went out on a summer's day when the air was sweet with the smell of hay. She met a lad both tall and fine, and he said to her, oh, would you be mine? Well, she was wild, but she was wise. She looked him right within his eyes. She knew he was no common sort, but she knew he was a lord of the fairy court. La-da-lady-o-do-dum-dow, la-da-lady-o-do-dum-day-o, la-da-lady-o-do-dum-die, la-da-lady-dirly-day. She said, if you would marry me, then you must give me kisses 3, and give to me a gown so fine that it shimmers in light of the bright moonshine. He said, if you would marry me, I'll give to you your kisses 3, for that I am no common sort, for that I am the lord of the fairy court. La-da-lady-o-do-dum-dow, la-da-lady-o-do-dum-day-o, la-da-lady-o-do-dum-day, la-da-lady-dirty-day. He took her slender hand in his and gave to her a lover's kiss. He gave to her a wedding gown that was woven from the silk of the thistledown. And then he took her slender hand and led her through the sun-bright land, and thus it was he paid her court. For with that he was a lord of the fairy court. La-da-lady-o-do-dum-dow, la-da-lady-o-do-dum-day-o, la-da-lady-o-do-dum-day, la-da-lady-dirty-day. Now in the grove he laid her down and made a bed of her fine gown, and there they were so wild and free. Well, somewhere in the night, while they made me, the dawn is coming, lady mine, put on your wedding gown so fine, for now you are no common sort, for now you are a bride of the fairy court. La-da-lady-o-do-dum-dow, la-da-lady-o-do-dum-day-o, la-da-lady-o-do-dum-day, la-da-lady-dirty-day. Oh, she was wild, but she was wise. She kissed him right between the eyes, said, oh, this can never be. A mortal maid and a fairy free. Well, you must have a fairy wife, and I must live a single life, for that you are no common sort. For at you are the lord of the fairy court. La-da-lady-o-do-dum-dow, la-da-lady-o-do-dum-day-o, la-da-lady-o-do-dum-day, la-da-lady-dirty-day. They parted there within the glade, the fairy lord and the mortal maid, but he said, you are no common sort, or you would have been the queen of the fairy court. La-da-lady-o-do-dum-dow, la-da-lady-o-do-dum-day-o, la-da-lady-o-do-dum-day, la-da-lady-dirty-day. So that was His Majesty's choice, and Her Majesty, thank you, wanted to hear the Plague Lament. So totally different tone. Here are all the lonely people. In these times we're all alone. Yet we will always need each other in our hearts, if not our home. We will build our strengths together. We can find our strength in love. We're all here to help each other. Given time, we'll rise above. Alone we feel our souls are weeping. Loved ones seem so far away. Someday we will be together. I'm praying for that joyful day. I can hear your voices calling. Feel your pain though far apart. While we cannot be together, know I hold you in my heart. All the miles that lie between us, all the sorrows hurts and fears. They cannot harm this love between us, which has grown through all these years. Alone we find our souls are dreaming. Loved ones feel so far away. Someday we will be together. I'm hoping for that joyful day, when at last this trial is over and we gather close once more. I will cry with joy, my darling, holding you whom I adore. When we meet again, my darling, here on earth what heaven's door, I'll hold you oh so tight forever. I will bide close evermore. Alone we know our souls are reaching, loved ones oh so far away. Someday soon we'll be together. I'm waiting for that joyful day. Thank you.
That was absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing your talents with us, for taking this time. And my compliments to His Majesty of Trimaris, who I gather has been enjoying the proceedings as he's watching, and who took the time to share his kind words for you. That brings us to one more performer for this evening. And after that, I will have some thanks and parting words to share. But first, I would very much, I'm gratified to have the opportunity to introduce another good friend. But the words are not mine. We end tonight with Emmer, Inion, Leiden of Eldamir. Their glorious and boreal majesties, Britannicus and Isabel, king and queen of all the Eldamirians, give their blessings and support of the voice of Eldamir at this Bardic showcase to the Honorable Lady Emmer Inion O'Aiden, a bard of the lineage of bards, of the lines of Mistress Sivia, Mistress Marion, and Mistress Morgana, voices that have rung out across many kingdoms and many years, as has Emmer's herself. This is a bard of bards, having served the crown as bard to Eldamir twice. This is a bard of bards, as she has walked the Penzic fields and gazed upon Mount Iceland over a score of times. This is a bard of bards. She is Lady Emmer, and she is Eldamir. Take it away, Emmer. Don't forget to unmute.
Thank you. Am I unmuted now?
You are.
Can you hear me? Okay, good. I'm very honored by that introduction, and to represent my kingdom here tonight. So I thought I'd leave us with a song, though I wrote it rather a while ago, that bids us to both look to our past and to our future. And I do believe we have a bright future ahead of us. Bright are the oars of the fiery ship that is traveling into the west, bearing the knowledge of long days past to enlighten the isles of the blessed. Gentle the fingers of rosy-hued dawn, sharp the bright sword of the sun, rising together the glorious light of a new day of promise begun. The mead flows gold as the setting sun, the wine flows red as the dawn. Raise a toast to the new day begun, and sing praise to the old days done. Hard was the work of the sweet golden mead, where the bees midst the northern flowers, while peaceful the slumber of deep purple grapes that have ripened in long southern hours. Now is the time for the wine mean to be poured, as the drowsy bees seek their rest. Now is the time for the wine to be poured, for the harvest has brought in the best. The mead flows gold as the setting sun, the wine flows red as the dawn. Raise a toast to the new day begun, and sing praise to the old days gone. Autumn came clothed in riches and jewels, leaves shining with amber and gold. The harvest wealth ever reflected in fires burning brightly to counter the cold. Reflected the blaze of autumn still shines in the warm amber light of the spring. And who knows what riches with blossom and bloom the passage of seasons shall bring. The mead flows gold as the setting sun, the wine flows red as the dawn. Raise a toast to the new day begun, and sing praise to the old days done. The mead flows gold as the setting sun, the wine flows red as the dawn. Raise a toast to the new day begun, and sing praise to the old days gone.
Thank you, Emmer. It's so good to see you again. And it is such a privilege to hear your voice and to hear your words and your music again. I want to take a moment as we close up the festivities tonight. There are some people I really want to take a moment to recognize and to thank. I want to thank all the performers who took the time to prepare, who came here and either in person or took the time to prepare performances to share with us. Thank you to all the royalty who took the time to answer us. And then I want to thank the team that made this possible. My co-host Honor, who as Dragon Bard just has kept the fires going, has been the face of this for the first half of the evening, but also for most of the correspondence that we've sent out, who organized and collated and kept in line all of the responses, many of which came in the last minute because it's 2020 and that's how we roll. I want very much to thank my co-champion of the East, Master Grim the Scald, Sovereign's Bard, who was happy to mostly sit and relax, though he's been with us in Garb all evening, and he has been monitoring our live stream on YouTube and cheering us all by sharing your feedback and sharing your comments as we have performed. It has been a real service, and it has been an honor and a delight to serve with this good friend and experienced bard. Then there are a three other people I really want to take a moment to recognize. First, I want to take a moment to honor the team for the Midrealm and the East who have made it their responsibility to keep this showcase going so that there is continuity year after year. At the moment, that office in the last several years, it has been held jointly by my former Laurel, Mistress Zoph of the Midrealm, and my good friend Mistress Sabine de Kerbriant of the East. I'm so grateful to you for sharing your institutional knowledge and helping again to keep us organized. I know a lot of this was a bit seat of our pants, and I'm proud to say I feel that it came together well. I would be remiss if I did not thank Matthias von Würzburg, the EK web minister, who very late in the game at the last minute when we needed hosting offered up after all he has been through with this exhausting and demanding week. Since of course earlier today we had East Kingdom coronation and he and his team made all that happen, and he volunteered his extra time to come out tonight and make sure that this worked and flowed smoothly. Thank you so much. It's a debt we can never repay. And finally, thank you to all of you who joined us tonight, listening and sharing your feedback, and all those who will join us here and elsewhere in the days and weeks and months to come. The voice and the memory of the society is our bards. And I am proud and delighted to see that the flame burns strong still.